If all them young ladies was little white rabbits, I'd be a hare and I'd teach 'em bad habits. Roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. If all them young ladies was rushes a-growin', I'd take out my scythe and I'd set out a-mowin'. Roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. If all them young ladies was fish in the ocean, I'd be a shark and I'd raise a commotion. Then roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. If all them young ladies was sheep in the clover, I'd be a ram and I'd ram them all over. And roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. Now if all them young ladies was little white vixen, I'd be a fox and I'd chase 'em and fix 'em. And roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. If all them young ladies was grapes on the vine, I'd be a plucker and I'd have me a time. And roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. If all them young ladies was bells in the tower, I'd be a sexton, I'd bang on the hour. Roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. Now if all them young ladies was bricks in a pile, I'd be a mason, I'd lay them in style. And roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. Now there's some who would hide them, conceal them or bind them, but hit or forbid, I'm the kid that would find them. And roll your leg over, roll your leg over, roll your leg over the man in the moon. Ah, come all you children and listen to me while I sing you a song that will fill you with glee. It's about a young woman so lovely and tall who married a man who had no hips at all. What? No hips at all, no hips at all. She married a man who had no hips at all. Well, she'll remember the night that she wed. She picked up the covers and crawled into bed. She reached for his shoulder seemed small. She reached for his hips, he had no hips at all. What? No hips at all, no hips at all. She married a man who had no hips at all. Mother, oh, what shall I do? My sorrows are many, my pleasures but few. How did you ever allow me to fall for this son of a bitch who's got no hips at all? What? No hips at all, no hips at all. She married a man who had no hips at all. Daughter, dear daughter, now don't feel so sad. I had that same trouble with your dear old dad. Why, there's many young fellers will come at the call of the wife of a man who's got no hips at all. What? No hips at all, no hips at all. She married a man who had no hips at all. The young lady took her dear mother's advice and found the proceedings exceedingly nice. A 7-pound baby was born in the fall, but the poor little bastard had no hips at all. What? No hips at all, no hips at all. She married a man who had no hips at all. tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. Sitting by the fireside, I was a-drinking gin and water. Suddenly there come to mind, I'd like to shag O'Reilly's daughter. Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. Oscar Brand is my name, America is my nation, drinking gin my claim to fame, shagging girls is my occupation. Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. Well, walking through the park that day, who should I meet but O'Reilly's daughter? Never a word I had to say, don't you think we really oughta? Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. Well, down the stairs and into bed, I shagged till I stove her. Never a word the maiden said, laughed like hell till the fun was over. Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. I heard a knock upon the door. Who should it be but the one-eyed Reilly? 2 horse pistols in his belt. He was in a fit entirely. Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. Well, I grabbed O'Reilly by the hair. I thrust his head in a pail of water, rammed the pistols up his butt, damn side hard, and I shagged his daughter. Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. Now all you lasses, all you maids, answer now and don't speak shyly. Would you have it straight and true, or the way I give it to the one-eyed Reilly? Tiddly-eye-eye, 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 the one-eyed Reilly, jig-a-jig-jig, 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 tray-bone. I was apprenticed in London, I went to see my dear. The candles they were burning, the moon shone bright and clear. I knocked upon her window to ease her of her pain. She rose, she let me in, then she barred the door again. I like your well behavior, and thus I often say, I won't rest contented, love, while you are far away. The roads, they're so muddy, we cannot gang about. Come roll me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. My father and my mother in yonder room do lie, hugging one another, so why not you and I? A-hugging one another without no fear nor doubt. Come roll me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. And if we prove successful, love, pray name it after me. Keep it neat and kiss it sweet and dap it on your knee. When my 3 years are ended, my time it will be out. I will double my indebted love by blowing the candles out.
Now my name it is Sam Hall, it is Sam Hall. And I hate you one and all, and I hate you short and tall. You're a bunch of muckers all, damn your eyes, damn your eyes. You're a bunch of muckers all, damn your eyes. Oh, I killed a man, 'tis said, so 'tis said. Yeah, I shot him through the head just to fill his mind with lead, and I left him there for dead. Damn his eyes, damn his eyes. I left him there for dead, damn his eyes. Oh, the preacher, he did come, and he looked so bloody glum as he talked of kingdom come. He can kiss my ruddy bum, damn his eyes, damn his eyes. He can kiss my ruddy bum, damn his eyes. And the sheriff, he come too, with his bonny boys in blue, saying, Sam, we'll see you through. He can take a flying flu, damn his eyes, damn his eyes. He can take a flying flu, damn his eyes. To the gallows I must go, I must go. with those bastards down below, thinking that it's a bloody show, shouting, Sam, we told you so. Damn their eyes, damn their eyes, shouting, Sam, we told you so. Damn their eyes. I saw Molly in the crowd, in the crowd. She was looking stooped and bowed, so I hollered right out loud, Hey Molly, ain't you proud? Damn your eyes, damn your eyes. Hey Molly, ain't you proud? Damn your eyes. Now in heaven I do dwell, I do dwell. And the truth it is to tell that it is a bloody cell. All the whores are down in hell. Damn their eyes, damn their eyes. The whores are down in hell. Damn their eyes.
There once was a poet from McNamater, whose mistress kept calling him amateur. She said, your technique is too rotten antique, and your rhythm's iambic pentameter. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. So waltz me around again, Willie. There once was a girl from St. Paul, wore a newspaper out to a ball. There came a great fire which burnt her attire, the front page sports section and all. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. Waltz me around again, Willie. A hermit who lived in Belgrave kept a dead prostitute in his cave. Says he, I'll admit I'm a bit of a nit, but think of the money I save. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. Waltz me around again, Willie. There once was a maiden named Myrtle, who amused herself with a sea turtle. And what was phenomenal, a swelling abdominal, revealed that the turtle was fertile. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. Waltz me around again, Willie. A newsboy in London named Grimes lured maids on to infamous crimes. I delivered, he'd boast, 2 globes in the post, and goodness knows how many times. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. Waltz me around again, Willie. A very coy maid of Siam remarked to her boyfriend to try him. To undress me, of course, you might have to use force, but the Lord knows you're stronger than I am. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. Waltz me around again, Willie. There's a maiden married at Chester. Her mother first cried, then she blessed her. She said, what a joy, he's a wonderful boy. I've had him myself down in Leicester. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. So here comes another verse that's worse than the other verse. Waltz me around again, Willie. There once was a maitre d'hotel who said, my guests can all go to hell. What they do to my wife is the bane of my life. The worst is they do it so well. Aye, 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 aye. In China they do it for Chile. But we haven't another verse that's worse than the other verse. So waltz me around again, Willie. As I went into the chandler's shop, some candles for to buy, I looked about the chandler's shop, but no one did I spy. Well, I was disappointed, so some angry words I said, when I heard the sound of a right above my head. Yes, I heard the sound of a right above my head. Well, I was slick and I was quick, so up the stairs I sped, and very surprised was I to find the chandler's wife in bed, and with her was another man of quite considerable size, and they were having a right before my eyes. Yes, they were having a right before my eyes. Ah, when the fun was over and done, the lady raised her head, and very surprised was she to find me standing by the bed. If you'll be discreet, my boy, if you will be so kind, you two can come up for some whenever you feel inclined. You two can come up for some whenever you feel inclined. So many a night and many a day, when the chandler wasn't home, to get myself some candles to the chandler's shop I'd roam. But never a one she'd give to me, she'd give to me instead just a little bit more of that to light my way to bed. Just a little bit more of that to light my way to bed. Now all you married men, take heed whenever you go to town. If you must leave your woman alone, be sure to tie her down. Or if you would be kind to her, just set her down there on the floor and give her so much of that she doesn't want any more. Yes, give her so much of that she doesn't want any more. Well, her name was Lil and she was a beauty. She lived in a house of ill repute. Gentlemen came from miles to see Lillian in her vis-a-vis. She was comely and she was fair, and she had lovely golden hair, but she drank too deep of the demon rum. She smoked hashish and opium. Yeah, she smoked hashish and opium. Well, day by day her cheeks grew thinner from insufficient protein in her. She grew deep hollows in her chest. Why, she had to go around completely dressed. Now clothes may make a girl go far, but they've got no place on a fille de joie. Lillian's trouble started when she concealed her abdomen. She concealed her abdomen. Well, she took 2 treatments in the sun, and she drank up Scott's emulsion. 3 times daily she ate yeast. Still her clientele decreased, for you must know her clientele rested chiefly on her belly. She rolled that thing like the deep Pacific. It was something calorific. Why, it was something calorific. So she went to the house physician to prescribe for her condition. Well, you have got, the doctor did say, pernicious anemia. Well, Lillian lay in her dishonor. She felt the devil's hand upon her. She said, my sins I now repent. Satan, that'll cost you 50 cents. That's gonna cost you just 50 cents. I was a serving maid down in Drury Lane. My master, he was good to me, my mistress was the same. When along come a sailor on shore at liberty, and out to my wow he took liberty with me, singing a bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. Let him climb the rigging like his daddy used to do. It was at a ball I met him, he asked me for a dance. I knew he was a sailor by the way he wore his pants. His shoes was neatly polished and his hair was neatly combed. After the ball was over, he asked to sing me home, singing a bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. Let him climb the rigging like his daddy used to do. He asked me for an handkerchief to tie around his head. He asked me for a candle to light his way to bed. I, a foolish maiden, not thinking it no harm, I jumped into the sailor's bed to keep the sailor warm, singing a bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. Let him climb the rigging like his daddy used to do. I knowed he was no Samson, but that night he went to town. He laid me on the bed there till my blue eyes turned to brown. And early in the morning, before the break of day, a 12-pound note he gave me and some warning words that say, singing a bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. Let him climb the rigging like his daddy used to do. He said, take this, my darling, for the damage I had done. You may have a daughter, you may have a son. If you have a daughter, jounce her on your knee. And if you have a son, send the bastard out to say, singing a bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. Let him climb the rigging like his daddy used to do. Now listen all you maidens to my girlish plea. Don't ever let a sailor get his hand upon your knee. I trusted one once and he put off to sea and left me with a daughter to bounce upon my knee, singing a bell-bottom trousers, coats of navy blue. Let him climb the rigging like his daddy used to do. All in the green bushes young Mary lay a-sleeping, when all of a sudden the sergeant come a-creeping, with his whack-fal-de-diddle-dido and his whack-fal-de-diddle-day. A few months went by, young Mary she grew bolder, and wished that the sergeant would come and do it over, with his whack-fal-de-diddle-dido and his whack-fal-de-diddle-day. A few months went by, young Mary she grew fatter, and all of the neighbors were wondering who'd been at her, with his whack-fal-de-diddle-dido and his whack-fal-de-diddle-day. A few months went by and young Mary burst asunder, and out popped the little sergeant with a regimental number, and a whack-fal-de-diddle-dido and a whack-fal-de-diddle-day. Oh, young ladies, take warning, be sure to keep from under the spell of the sergeant. Your virtue he will plunder, with his whack-fal-de-diddle-dido, his whack-fal-de-diddle-day. Old Joe Clark, preacher's son, and preached all o'er the plain. Highest text he ever took was High-Low Jack the Game. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, time you're getting on. I wish I was an apple hanging on a tree. Every time a true love passed, she'd take a bite of me. Oh, it's fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, time you're getting on. I wish I had a bushel, I wish I had a pick, I wish I had a pretty gal with her arms around my neck. It's fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, time you're getting on. I wish I was a cherry branch hanging in the town. Every time a true love passed, I'd shake her cherry down. It's a fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, time you're getting on. Higher up on the cherry tree, sweeter grows the cherry. More you hug and kiss the gals, the more they wanna marry. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, time you're getting on. I went down old Joe's house, old Joe wasn't home. Jumped in bed with old Joe's wife, broke her tucking comb. With a fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone. Fare thee well, old Joe Clark, time you're getting on. When I was a little boy, I liked to play with knives. Now that I'm a grown-up man, it's other fellas' wives. It's fare thee well, old Joe Clark, fare thee well, I'm gone.
Fare the well, ho, Joe Clark, time you're getting on.
She climbed up the apple tree, I climbed up the gum.
I never seed a pretty gal, but what I loved her some. Fare thee well, ho, Joe Clark, fare the well, I'm gone. Fare the well, ho, Joe Clark, time you're getting on.
Around her neck she wore a yellow ribbon. She wore it in the springtime and in the month of May. And if you asked her why the hell she wore it for a soldier who was far, far away. Far away, far away. She wore it for a soldier who was far, far away. Around her waist she wore a yellow girdle. She wore it in the springtime and in the month of May. And if you asked her why the hell she wore it for a soldier who was far, far away. Far away, far away. She wore it for a soldier who was far, far away. Behind the door her father kept a shotgun. He kept it in the springtime and in the month of May. And if you asked him why the hell he kept it for a soldier who was far, far away. Far away, far away. He kept it for a soldier who was far, far away. Around the block she wheeled a baby carriage. She wheeled it in the springtime and in the month of May. And if you asked her why the hell she wheeled it for a soldier who was far, far away. Far away, far away. Why, she wheeled it for a soldier who was far, far away. Well, it was Saturday night and I come home as drunk as I can be. And there was this horse in the stable where no horse ought to be. So I turned to my wife and I said unto she, tell me, honey, what's that horse a-doing there where no horse ought to be? Oh, you blind fool, you stupid fool, you fool, why can't you see? That's nothing but a milk cow your mother sent to me.
Oh, many miles have I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but a milk cow with a saddle on I never saw before. Well, it was Saturday night and I come home, I was buzzing like a bee. And there was this hat on a hat rack where no hat ought to be. So I turned to my wife and I said unto she, tell me, honey, what's that hat on the hat rack where my hat ought to be?
Oh, you blind fool, you stupid fool, you fool, why can't you see? That ain't nothing but a chamber pot my mama gave to me.
Oh, many miles have I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but a chamber pot size 6 7/8 I never saw before. It was Saturday night and I come home drunk as I can be, and there was this coat on a coat rack where my coat ought to be. So I turned to my wife and I said unto she, tell me, honey, what's that coat a-doing there where my coat ought to be?
Oh, you blind fool, you stupid fool, you fool, why can't you see? Tain't nothing but a blanket my mother gave to me.
Ha! Many miles have I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but a blanket with some buttons on I never saw before. Well, it was Saturday night and I come home happy as can be, and there was this head on the pillow where no head ought to be. So I turned to my wife and I said unto she, tell me, honey, what's that head a-doing there where my head ought to be?
Oh, you blind fool, you stupid fool, you fool, why can't you see that's nothing but a baby
my mother left for me. Ha! Many miles have I traveled, 1,000 miles or more, but a baby with a mustache on I never saw before.
As I walked out one evening, 'twas on a knight's career, I met a pretty fireship and towards her I did steer. I hoisted up my signal, which she did quickly view, and when she saw my bunting up, she immediately hove to. She had a dark and a roving eye, and her hair hung down in ringlets. A nice girl, a decent girl, but one of the rakish kind. Excuse me, sir, said she to me, for being out so late. If my parents knew of this, oh sad would be my fate. My daddy is a minister, a good and righteous man. My mother is a Methodist, I do the best I can. She had a dark and roving eye, and her hair hung down in ringlets. A nice girl, a decent girl, but one of the rakish kind. I took her to a tavern, I treated her with wine. A little did I think that she was of the rakish kind. I handled her, I dandled her, much to my surprise. Turned out she was a pirate ship rigged up in this disguise. She had a dark and a roving eye, and her hair hung down in ringlets. She was a nice girl, a decent girl, but one of the rakish kind. Listen, all you sailor men that sail upon the sea, beware of them, their fire ships, one was the ruin of me. Beware of them, steer clear of them, they'll be the death of you. 'Twas there I had my mizzen sprung, and my strong box broken through. She had a dark and a roving eye, and her hair hung down in ringlets. A nice girl, a decent girl, but one of the rakish kind. In the hills of West Virginia lived a girl named Nancy Brown. She was the finest filly for many miles around. The deacon come a-visiting the valley from below. He almost reached the summit, but no further would she go. And she come rolling down the mountain, rolling down the mountain. She come rolling down the mountain, shouting no. And she didn't give the deacon that there thing that he was seeking. She remained as pure as West Virginia snow. Well, along come a trapper with his phrases sweet and kind. Took Nancy up the mountain, but at last she read his mind. And she come rolling down the mountain, rolling down the mountain. She come rolling down the mountain, piggyback. She remained, as I have stated, not one whit contaminated. She remained as pure as Pappy's Applejack. Well, along come a drummer, and he wooed her with a song. He took her to the mountains, but she still know right from wrong. And she come rolling down the mountain, rolling down the mountain. She come rolling down the mountain, breathing scorn. And she left her bold companion to the coyotes in the canyon. She remained as pure as West Virginia corn. Well, along come a city slicker with his $100 bills. Took Nancy in his Cadillac and kept her in the hills. And so she stayed up in the mountain, stayed up in the mountain. Oh, she stayed up in the mountain all that night. She returned next morning early, more a woman than a girlie, and her pappy kicked the hussy out of sight. Now she's living in the city, living in the city. She is living in the city, mighty swell. She is dancing, she is dining on her panties, she's reclining, and the West Virginia hills can go to hell. And the West Virginia hills can go to hell.